I'm going to show you how to personalise a cold cup with vinyl. So I'm going to pop my image on the front of the cup. I'll leave a little gap at the top and the bottom. And these cold cups are reusable, and the lid, honestly, it takes quite a bit of force to get this lid off. I'm quite impressed with it. So first what I need to do is measure the cold cup, or where I want the vinyl to go, and see how big I can make the vinyl so it does cover the front of the cup, because you don't want it too big so it goes round the cup so you can't see half the image. So it's going to be 5 inches from top to bottom, and from left to right it's going to be about 2.5 inch, so 5 inch by 2.5 inch. And the vinyl that I'm going to be using is a Cricket brand, and I really don't like this vinyl. You'll see why in a minute, why I don't like it. So I'm just going to get this out and just cut a piece big enough. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a strip that's 5 inches wide, and I can just trim it afterwards. So I'm just going to use my little mini guillotine. And it is a little bit awkward, this vinyl is, because it's a tiny bit longer than 12 inches, so it doesn't actually fit in to my little cutter smoothly. It overlaps at the bottom there, so I'll have to just measure 5 inch and it'll cut near enough to the end, and then I'll just have to snip it with scissors. That's another reason why I don't like the Cricket Smart vinyl. So if I just grab my scissors quickly, and I'll just trim this bottom piece. There we go. And I'm gonna leave this vinyl, the bit that I've just cut off, I'm gonna leave that as a strip, and then once the Cricut machine has cut my design out, I'll just trim it afterwards. I'm just gonna double check that I have got enough. So yeah, so that's me 5 inches, so that's how much I'm gonna need by 2.5. So I'm only actually gonna use that much vinyl, and I'll save the rest. Okay, so let's grab my Cricut mat. Now this mat has been through a lot with me. It's got fluff all stuck on it, it's got sellotape all over it, but I'm going to use it for a couple of more days, and then I've got another one that's a brand new one. So I mean, you can clean them to try and get the stickiness back, but it just never works for me, so I'm going to chuck it away, and I've got a new one. So I'm just sellotaping the vinyl down onto the mat. I like to sellotape all the corners and a little bit in the middle at the top and the bottom. Right, so let's just nip over to my design space where I can show you the logo that I'm going to be putting on. So I'm just going to change it to white so you can see it on my black background. It's Dad, the man, the myth, the legend. And it was 5 inches by 2.5 inches. So if I change the length of that, the longest point, to 5, it automatically changes the width to 2.08. So I'll just leave it at that. And I'm actually going to be having it that way on the cup, aren't I? So from top to bottom it's 5 inches, and then from left to right it's 2.08, which is fine. Okay, so I'm just going to pop it back the other way, and we'll send it to my Cricut machine and get it all cut out. Even though I have changed the colour to white on my design space, I'm cutting it on black vinyl, so it will cut out black, not white. Right, so that's all done, and what I'm going to do, because I did use this long piece of vinyl, I'm just going to trim round the image it's cut so I can save the extra piece of vinyl. Because this smart vinyl is quite expensive, so you don't want to be wasting any of it. Although I don't like it because of the length of it, and it's a bit awkward on my guillotine. It is expensive, so you want to try and save as much as you can. So I'll just pop that back in the packet. And then it's time to weed the vinyls, which is basically remove the excess vinyl which leaves the image on a backing. So I'm just going to grab my mat and turn it over so you can see it better. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Right, I'm going to speed this up because although the vinyl did peel off quite easy, it did take me a little while to do this. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit. To be honest, I was quite impressed with how it peeled off, because it was just a few little tiny pieces that I had to weed out separately, like the inside of the M, and I think, yeah, there by the E and the M there. But other than that, it did come off quite easy. And then the next step is going to be to get some transfer tape and pop it over the top of this image, and then that's how we get it onto the cup. Now, in a minute, you will see why I don't like this type of vinyl. So this is my transfer tape. I'm just going to cut just enough. Again, you don't want to waste any, so just cut the bit that you need. And then I've got a little bit of a trick when applying the transfer tape onto any vinyl image. So let me just cut this and I'll show you. So when you go to apply it onto the image, what you want to do is just hold each side of the transfer tape, the left and the right, and just naturally bend it. And that gives you the midpoint of the transfer tape. And then if you just pop that with the middle bit first on the image and let each side flop down, you'll get hardly any bubbles. And then just get your squeegee and just rub it from left to right. Now, no matter how much I rub this onto the transfer tape, it does not stick very well. It's not the transfer tape, it is the vinyl. Because the white backing, what you do, if you bend the white backing and kind of roll it as you're detaching it from the transfer tape, it comes off easy. But because the white backing is so thick on this vinyl, it doesn't fold. You can't really roll it. It's kind of like lifting away, if you know what I mean. And this is the reason I don't like it. It's just so awkward to get the vinyl off nice and smoothly. Other types of vinyl, it's so easy. You just bend the backing and it rolls off. This one, as you can see, it took me a while. I did speed it up, but that's done finally. When you go to put it on your cup, what you want to do is just look at the top edge of the cup and line it up with the top of your image. So the bit where it says the man, I want to make sure it's nice and straight with the top of the cup. And when you apply it down, again, just try and put it down a tiny bit and then press the middle down first, and then get your squeegee and just rub out to the sides. And this just gets rid of any bubbles that you've got formed. Okay, now the good thing I like about this vinyl is all you have to do is just rub it down gently, and then when you go to peel the transfer tape off, the vinyl's already stuck. As you can see, I only rubbed it lightly and that vinyl is on that cup now. That's not coming off. And there you go, that's it, done. And it didn't take that long, just a few minutes, and there's the finished result.